Hey, much mercy to you brothers out there. Are you brothers that are understanding the new covenant and that are repenting day by day and that believe? Much mercy to you brothers in this time. And I just want to go right into this. You have to understand that the fruits of the Spirit, you can't fake the fruits of the Spirit. So it's no amount of knowledge that you have that can fake the fruits of the Spirit. The fruits of the Spirit is an internal thing. It's something inward. And Paul speaks of the inward man, not outwardly having a bunch of knowledge and breakdowns. You see, that's not the inward man. Um, what's more important than knowledge and breakdowns and just knowing a bunch of information is how you are internally, and that's what the fruits of the Spirit. The fruits of the Spirit deal with your inner man, who you are internally. And so you can't fake that in this last day. I mean, you may impress certain people with knowledge and breakdowns and you knowing all this, but what's heavier than that, that's why we talk about the heavier matters of the law. The heavier matters of the law are faith, mercy, and judgment. So the Lord was letting you know that those things are more heavier than you knowing a bunch of knowledge. And you may know a bunch of things, but the way you treat and the way you treat brothers, or the way you feel about brothers, or the reason you're doing this is what matters the most in this time. Not you just saying you have a bunch of knowledge or teaching men a bunch of things about a bunch of things of the world or whatever you may know. What's more important in this time is you teaching with compassion. Now, the fruits of the Spirit cannot be faked. And I seen a video the brother did with, Jake had this demon on him. Yeah, and that's right. Why don't you guys cast the demons out of Jake? Because you guys can't cast any demons out of anybody because you are the demons. And a lot of you guys think that your knowledge and you knowing a lot of things substitute for you not having the fruits of the Spirit. The fruits of the Spirit are love, joy, peace. You see what I'm saying? It's kind, it's patient. So dealing with this word, we've had patience on guys, even when guys don't think like we really understand what they're about. It's like we have patience to see if guys turn around and do better, but guys don't. They just get worse because they think that because you take the humble route, like the Lord said, that they could run one over you or disrespect you or hate. See, a lot of you don't understand the new covenant. It's not based on you having the most knowledge. It's based on your inner person. So internally, if you don't have compassion, internally, if you hate brothers, internally, if you have disrespect for brothers, then you don't have the fruits of the Spirit. All right. So a lot of you guys think that you could fool people. This ain't about fooling. This ain't about tricking nobody no more, man. If you don't have the fruits of the Spirit, and if you're not teaching this for compassion, because you really want to help our people, then you're not of the Lord. So you could teach all this knowledge and all this wisdom, but then don't have no compassion and really hate brothers and have a disdain for brothers, like a lot of guys do. A lot of guys do. And all you guys out there, you know who you are. Matthew 20 and Matthew 20 and 30. It says, and behold, two blind men sitting by the wayside, when they heard that the anointed Hamashiach, Jesus, passed by, cried out, saying, have mercy on us, O Lord, thou son of David. And that's what our people need. They need mercy. They don't need breakdowns. They don't need information. You see, they don't need all this knowledge of the world, and they don't need them to know about Esau. They don't need you teaching them about um, the old law. They need mercy. And this is what the scriptures say in John, that the Lord, he brought, the law came by Moses, but the Lord, he brought grace. So there's no grace in the old law. So a lot of you guys are just reprobate teaching. And that's the thing about it. You don't understand, but the souls that you're leading the wrong way, you're going to have to account for them. You see? And just like the brother said too, the scriptures tell you, like, if you offend one of the little ones, it's better if you hung a millstone around your neck. Because men teaching in this spirit where, like, they know all this knowledge, but they hate you at the same time. So you have a lot of guys, they know all this knowledge, but their spirit is filled with hate. So really, a lot of you are doing a disservice teaching the Bible. Matthew 20:30, and behold, two blind men sitting by the wayside, when they heard that the anointed Hamashiach passed by and cried out, saying, have mercy on us, O Lord, thou son of David. So they was asking the Lord for mercy. This is what our people need. They're plagued by demons. They're plagued by spirits. So they don't need a bunch of breakdowns and men to be proud and treat men like shit. And to be disrespectful and look at men and make fun of them or talk down on men. They need mercy in this last day. And so first of all, you're not showing men mercy by teaching false doctrine. You're not showing men mercy by teaching this word in hate. You know, like I said, a lot of you guys, you're not fooling nobody, bro. You're not fooling nobody, bro. And what we teach over here, it ain't got nothing to do with no camp doctrine. All right, for a lot of you guys that don't have the fruits of the spirit, so you can't really understand what it is to actually have mercy on brothers and actually teach this out of compassion. You don't understand that. You think guys think being disrespectful, they think that's normal. That's how you're supposed to be. Because guys don't have the fruits of the spirit. They value knowledge and knowing all these breakdowns more than they value how to treat somebody, or the more than they value mercy. You see what I'm saying? So that's why when you have these conversations with certain individuals, they don't think they're in the wrong, because according to them, they don't even understand the fruits of the spirits, having mercy and having a kind heart. So they don't even understand that. You see what I'm saying? They think because of the knowledge and what they know or how long they've been teaching, they think that's substitute, or they think that's all they need. It's crazy. So our people need mercy. Our people need to be felt compassion, not to be belittled and talked down upon, and talking about all this stuff for the world, exalting yourself. Matthew 20:31, and the multitude rebuked them, because they should hold their peace. But they cried the more, saying, have mercy on us, O Lord, thou son of David. And the anointed stood still and called them and said, what will ye that I should do unto you? And they said unto him, Lord, that our eyes may be open. So Jesus had compassion on them. And all Jesus Christ means is the anointed Savior. You got these corrupt men with these defiled minds corrupting the word and teaching false doctrine and breaking words down, making words mean what they don't mean, and calling out demons. You see? Calling out names they don't even understand, which the Lord didn't speak Paleo-Hebrew in the first century. But anyway, so the anointed had compassion on them, and they touched their eyes, and immediately their eyes received sight, and they followed him. So when the Lord had compassion, immediately they received their sight. So like if you're teaching this word and you don't have no compassion, you can't really help men receive their sight. You know, like certain things you might, guys will be able to show you, But for you to really have your eyes open to the spirit, guys can't really show you that. You see? This is why Paul said, I might have all the knowledge, but if I lack charity, I am nothing. Why is Paul saying that? Because through the Lord's compassion, he was able to heal those blind men. So by guys teaching in the spirit of hate or a spirit of disrespect, you know, because guys think they could just disrespect anybody and just, they think that ain't nothing gonna, you know, it's crazy. You got guys in that spirit of disrespect, hate, deceit. Guys are teaching deceit, holding you to the law. And you got certain guys in the new covenant that don't have the fruits of the new covenant. They think this is about knowledge. They think this is about being puffed up. No, it's about having the fruits of the spirit. And then so when you have the fruits of the spirit, you teaching those fruits of the spirit. And then you're able to heal men because of the fruits of the spirit. The Lord healed that man because of the compassion. He had love to heal him. So he really healed him because he really had love. Guys are not healing men because they don't have the love of God in them. And this is why guys are prideful and puffed up and hateful and disrespectful and this is why men are who are in the spirit they're in, because they think knowing the most knowledge, that's the spirit. No, you're in the spirit because your spirit has compassion, your spirit has mercy. These are the heavier matters of the law. Let's read that real quick. A lot of you just don't get it. And you really can't explain this to guys like that because they think that their knowledge is knowing everything. Matthew 23:23. Woe to you, scribes, Pharisees, and hypocrites, for you pay tithe of mint and anise and cumin, and have omitted the weightier matters of the law, judgment, mercy, and faith. And so if you don't have these heavier matters in you, you're going to teach without them. You're going to think that having the most understanding of knowledge, you think that matters more than having mercy or faith or real discernment. Because if guys had discernment, they wouldn't act certain ways they would. So this is saying you could tell a person that they're going the wrong way. If they don't really have compassion or love or mercy to see that they're going wrong, then you're not going to be able to tell them they're wrong because they don't have the love of God in them. So you got to understand this. The wicked scribes and the Pharisees, they omitted the weightier matters of the law because it wasn't in them. And this is what the Lord said. You don't understand my words because the love of God is not in men. It's heavy, bro. Let's go to this one quick. Mark 6:34. And the Anointed, when he came out and saw much people, and was moved with compassion toward them, because they were as sheep not having a shepherd, and he began to teach them many things. So the Lord, he's seen men was misled back in them times, just like now. And what did the Lord do? He taught them with compassion because he had love. What do you have men doing this time? You have men that are teaching, and they see our people are led astray, and they see our people are beat down, and they see our people might not know certain things. Now, they might know certain things, but then they're not teaching with compassion. Let's read this again. Mark 6:34. And the Anointed, when he came out, saw much people, and was moved with compassion toward them, because they were as sheep not having a shepherd. And he began to teach them many things. So a lot of our people, they take advantage of the sheep. It's because they don't have no compassion. And this is why the Lord said this in John 10. So all your knowledge and breakdowns, it does not trump over compassion, mercy, and faith and judgment. It doesn't trump that. You may have all the knowledge, but you lack compassion. All right. And men could talk about compassion and mercy, but it's one thing to talk about it and then another thing to actually show it. You see what I'm saying? It's one thing to talk about it and it's another thing to show it. John 10:1, verily, verily, I say unto you, he that entereth not by the door into the sheepfold, but climbeth up some other way, the same is a thief and a robber. So going up another way too is not going up another way. It's not going the way the Lord paved. It's not going the way of the Lord. The way of the Lord was healing men through compassion. The way of the Lord was healing men to get men believing on him. So that's another thing, like a lot of guys, they lack that because their whole thing is you have certain guys making money off the truth, certain guys getting fame off the truth, and they're not teaching it for compassion. They have hate. They have dark hearts. You see the fruits of the flesh with guys. It says, but he that entereth by the door of the shepherd of the sheep, to him the porter opens, and the sheep hear his voice, and he calleth his own sheep by name, and leadeth them out. And leadeth him out. What does it mean, like he calleth his own sheep by name? Is it going into a particular name? No, it's going into a particular spirit. They know the spirit. They know that compassion. By the compassion that the Lord was teaching in, the sheep were led out. You guys won't understand that because you think that's by knowledge or breakdowns or how long you've been doing it. You could do this true for 20, 30 years and not even have no compassion. Just teaching it to make money like a lot of you guys do. Or just teach it to be put on a pedestal. And when he put forth his own sheep, he go up before him and the sheep follow him, for they know his voice. So the ones that are of compassion, they're going to understand compassion. The ones that's of the Lord, they're going to understand the Lord. Luke 10:32. And this is heavy right here too. Luke 10:32. And likewise, let me read this real quick. Luke 10:30. And the anointed Jesus answered, saying, and said, a certain man went down from Jerusalem to Jericho, and fell among thieves, which stripped him of his raiment, and wounded him, and departed, and leaving him half dead. And by chance they came down a certain priest that way, and when he saw him, he passed on the other side. Check this out. And likewise a Levite. What's heavy about this, what I come to see is that the Levite of the old law, he couldn't help him. He passed by on the other side. And likewise a Levite, when he was at the place, came and looked on him and passed by on the other side. So a Levite priest did this. A Levite did it. So this is letting you know, like, that old law can't help you. They didn't have no love. And likewise, it says, but a certain Samaritan, as he journeyed, came where he was. And when he saw him, he had compassion on him. So the Levite didn't have no compassion on him. Now, you can relate that back to the old law. The old Levite priest. And this is why the Lord cast Jerusalem, out of the holy city, and tore down the temple. So the Lord was letting you know, he was letting them know that whole thing was going to be torn down. So the Lord taught with compassion, and you cannot fake compassion. Either you're teaching his word in hate, and then when you teach this word in hate, you're teaching things that really don't matter. And then you're teaching in strife, like you're trying to get back or something. Like, you're not really teaching this out of compassion. You're teaching this to show people how much you know. It's crazy, man. You can't make this up, man. So Luke 10:30, real quick. Yeah, you can't fake the fruits of the Spirit. If compassion is not in you, then you're not going to be able to show it. That is way more important than teaching men all this stuff of the world and all this knowledge. That is why Paul said, if I don't have love, then I am nothing. I can have all this knowledge. A lot of you don't understand that. So how you treat brothers and how you, in your heart and in your mind, how you hate brothers, that's more important than you having all this knowledge. You got to understand how to treat brothers, and you really got to understand how to have love for brothers. Not just saying you do or putting an act on. It's really got to be in you. And that only comes with a new heart. A lot of you guys haven't been renewed. And it's only a matter of time for you ain't going to be able to hide it. Now that word compassion,
Strong's G 4697. Splach niedzamai. Splach niedzamai.
Right, that word compassion, to be moved with compassion. And it's to be moved with compassion, have compassion. You got to have love. You got to have mercy. For the bowels were thought to be the seat of love and pity. Right. So when the Lord, like I just read, when he seen the crowd, he said, the scriptures say that he taught them because he knew that they didn't have a shepherd. So like what our people do, because they're in the spirit of hate, they know our people won't know certain things, or they're being in the dark about things, and they'll teach them false doctrine, or they'll teach them lies, or they'll treat them with hate. They'll teach this word with hate. Then you're not helping anybody. That's why when we see that spirit got to go, man. And I agree. The Lord made he what the Lord does is beautiful, man. It is very beautiful. So the Lord taught with compassion, and this is what the fruits of the spirits are. So the fruits of the spirit, those fruits of the spirit in you matter more than this carnal knowledge men may have outside of them. Because by you having those fruits of the spirit, you'll be able to understand the Lord. You'll be able to really understand what the Lord was saying. Let's read this real quick. Ephesians 3:16, that he will grant you according to the riches of glory to be strengthened with might by his strength in the inner man. And so now we really understand what this means, because he's not strengthening you with worldly knowledge or with all these breakdowns. He's strengthening you in the inner man, which consists of love, faith, mercy, and discernment. So we're able to discern Satan. So the inner man. Galatians 5. And 18. But if you're led of the Spirit, then you're not under the law. So this is a spiritual thing now. And if you're a carnal brute beast, you will not really be able to understand, because you don't have compassion, and you're not teaching his word for compassion. You're not teaching his word for mercy. It says, now the works of the law, now the works of the flesh are manifest, which are adultery, fornication, uncleanness, lasciviousness, idolatry, witchcraft, hatred, men teaching his word and hatred, witchcraft, bringing up false doctrine, teaching things that don't matter, emulation, strife, wrath, strife. And you notice now guys wasn't doing videos like that. All of a sudden now guys want to do videos because they think they have a point. Well, your points don't matter. Are you teaching those points in the fruits of the spirit, or you just teaching that because you just want to get some get back? Men are teaching in hate, man. It says idolatry, witchcraft, and when you talk about the news, that's witchcraft. You're casting spells on people. You're teaching men false doctrine, man, because that's not the gospel. Guys, teaching you about Esau. It's crazy, man. Variance, emulation, wrath, strifes, seditions, heresies, envyings, murders, right? Guys, hearts full of envy and murder, drunkenness, and such are like, of which I tell you before, as I have told you in the time past, they that do such things shall not inherit the kingdom of God. Right, so a lot of you guys teaching the Bible in hate, you will not inherit the kingdom. You guys don't even have mercy on the Gentiles or yourself. You're totally against the Gentiles. Most of you guys teach a doctrine full of hate because you're in the spirit of hate. But the fruits of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, long-suffering, goodness, faith, temperance, meekness. Against such there is no law. So to have the fruits of the Spirit means more than any outside knowledge you can have. It's more better to have the fruits of the Spirit than to have all his knowledge. And this is what Paul meant. Even though I might have all his knowledge, if I don't have love, I am nothing. That's a lot of you guys in this last day. Repent to the new covenant. And with that, shalom.